Okay, so now that we have this all laid out, what we're gonna have to do is now work on a little bit of lighting. Okay. Now, lighting, what usually comes with is some kind of asset that actually broadcasts light. For this lesson, what I really want to show you is how to texture bake something. So that's why I put in the ceiling a texture that looks like light. Okay. But you can have a standalone asset that does that for you. All you do is hit the model light and it would work just the same way. Okay, so you would place these where light go. Now, in this case, these lights up here are fluorescent, so it'd probably cast a magical glow everywhere. But now that would be a little bit boring. So what I'm going to do is put one in the center of this room. One here. One right here in the hallway. And what that'll do is cast enough light where the shadows will crisscross in this area. Okay, so I'm going to turn all these down to like 0.25. And all I did there is Control D to copy those over and over. So start at the top. Incidentally, this is outliner, because I know students are like, where'd you get that box? Outliner. Window outliner. And 0.25. Okay, so that makes it a little darker in the area. And I can hit 7 on the keyboard. I'll save this scene, and I'll also go into high quality rendering. Okay, I don't like the spectral on this texture right here. There is no spectral, in my opinion. That texture needs a spectral, and you can see it because it's just glossy. Okay, the rest of the areas, okay. And the lights, wow, those are horrible looking. So there's something wrong there on that texture. So we'll take a look at that also. Now, it might just because they're blends, and not everything has to be a blend. I would say this rusty texture would not have to be a blend. Neither do those lights in the top. Those would not have to be a blend. So we can mix those up a little bit. Okay, for the ceiling, what I want to check is the node to make sure they're tiling at the same rate. So this one's staggering at a 10.5. This one's staggering at 10 to 5. The bump map does not need to be that strong. It could be 0.25 for that. And also I can click here and drop this down to a Lambert. Okay, and that'll automatically switch it out. So now I look, yep, pretty good. Let's look at my walls to make sure I follow the same procedure. Click here first. Make sure they're both tiling 5 to 2, 5 to 2. Good. This does not have to be a blend. It could be a Lambert. Just like that. Also, I want to turn its bump map down to 0.25. Yeah, that one's all right. Floor, ceilings, walls, and there's a floor 2. 0.5. Okay, it's starting to look a lot better. Okay, this light needs to be down in the hallway more. If a light is very hard to highlight. It's just Maya being stubborn. So perfect. Okay, now the idea here is to get it so, it has some appeal. It also needs some assets, but I'm just going to, for the sake of showing you how to texture bake, I'm going to put a couple assets in here. Now, assets are this stuff. Let's say I have something on the floor that's casting a shadow. Maybe a control panel. It may be a fire extinguisher. It might be all these little doodads on the floor. We need something there, and we can model the entire thing in Maya. We can model all the assets in Maya, all the little doodads, pimp out this level to the point of idiocy, and then we can do the texture bake. Now you want to do it after you get everything in place. So I'm going to have some stand-in stuff, just for the sake of learning. Let's say I have a box over here. Now I would probably take the time to make crates. And all these would have to have separate UVs. Now the thing is, you could texture bake these separately also. Okay. These are already on the same level, so I'm just going to Control D this, and I'm going to duplicate it and turn it into a mesh smooth. And G on the keyboard to do that again, so now I got a sphere in there. I'm just throwing a couple of these things out every once in a while because I want to show you what the advantage of the texture bake really does. So I need things that cast shadows. Okay, now another thing is those lights. Each light has to be set up to cast shadows. So each light has to be down here. You have to turn on use ray trace shadows for each light. Just like that. And if I want to see shadows, sometimes this works, the shadows under lighting. Sometimes it really does a horrible job. It all depends on your video card in most cases. So there we go. Now, in the next lesson, or the next little video, I want to start getting into the setting up with the render and those assets to kind of see what this is going to look like in game.